Okay, everybody. So some of you out there know that I am a big fan of Bungie's Marathon, you know, their game, the FPS game from the 1990s. And back in 2014, a player by the name of KineticTurtle actually said he had a bunch of Marathon stuff that he was willing to give away. I forget his reasonings behind it, but I saw the post he made about it. So I was thinking, that sounds pretty cool. Maybe I could grab some of that. So I sent a reply to him, gave me the reasons why I thought it'd be cool to have, and he selected me. So that was awesome. And I actually didn't mean to make a video about this back in that year, but around that time my camera had failed, so obviously it got put on the back burner, and I kind of just forgot about it. And here we are, just about 7 years later, and definitely glad to share it with everyone, especially now that I have more subscribers, more people can see it. Probably be a really cool thing to have. So let me go ahead and get everything out of this envelope, and I'll show you exactly what's contained inside. And wow, is there a lot of stuff in that envelope or what? So I guess what I'll do first is I'll just give you just a kind of general shot of some of the stuff here, and then maybe afterwards I'll put the camera on the tripod and I'll just give you a little bit more detailed view of some of the items here. Admittedly, I don't know how much of the books I can show you because I don't quite know how copyright works with those and things like that, especially with that. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But just a couple of things I'll show you here and there, and just some general commentary, I guess. Okay, so I guess what we'll start with is up here is actually KineticTurtle's icon that is used before. You may notice I have my work name tag on there, and that's because on the lower part of the sticker is his full name, and I don't want to broadcast that, obviously, so that's the icon he's used before. Now check out this. Bungie Mac Action Sack. Very interesting name. On the back here, oh, nothing on the back. I could probably open the thing here. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. Back when Myth and Myth 2 were the big thing. Straight from Bungie for just $39.95. I don't quite know exactly what that is in today's money, but I'll throw it on the screen here, and you can see for yourself. And there's the games on that CD. Pretty cool. Now this is pretty interesting. This isn't really Bungie or Marathon related, at least not fully, but he also apparently had this Mac Addict magazine with a CD inside. One thing I like is that it has Apple's original logo. I always loved that design logo with those colors. It's too bad that they got rid of it later on. So I can kind of show you exactly what the front and the back of this magazine has. Here's something interesting. Win 5 custom painted Macs. I guess is what they looked like at the time. That almost reminds me of the KPT shapes from Marathon 1. Just those weird colors and such. Why the Mac's future is bright. There's a CD. 650 megabytes. These days they wouldn't be all that much, but back then that was huge. And on the bottom here you can see what the stuff was. You can pause the video if you like. Wow, 15 free hours of AOL access. Man, amazing, huh? And see if I can get the CD to the reason why I haven't taken it out of this bag is because it looks like it wasn't opened, and I don't know if these magazines are worth anything, but maybe at some point I'll open it. I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. MacAddict.com, and there's the CD again. Some stuff on the side here. 28 reviews, 180 megahertz. Wow, that's really slow by today's standards. Open Doc Revolution. 15 ways. That's back when Apple versus Microsoft was that whole thing. That was so ridiculous back then, honestly. I think even Steve Jobs said that was ridiculous in like 97 or 98. But whatever. And some other stuff here. Fake a photo. Gee, that's nice. Now, I can't really show you much more on the back here because it's kind of blocked by the bag here, but I can tell you that what they're showing on the back here is, oh, there's Bungie, is showing you Marathon Infinity, which is the third one. So I'm going to assume that this, oh yeah, so I think this magazine is from 1996. I think it's when this magazine came out. So that's pretty cool. Now, as you can see here, Marathon 1 was originally released on 4 3.5-inch floppy disks. These are the HD. So these are the 144 megabyte 1.44 megabyte discs. Yep, so it took 4 of these to install one game. And I'm going to assume this is the original 1.0 version. And so yeah, 4 of these discs it took to what do you call it? Install the game. And these are from 1994, so I have no idea if these even still work, because I know floppy disks over time can like wear out or whatever you call it. So that's pretty cool. And then over here, these are the 3 CDs. You can see Marathon eventually had its own CD. I don't know if this is 1.2, like the updated version, or if this is the same one just in CD form. I don't quite know. Someone could always chime in if they know. So here's one for Marathon, Marathon 2, and Marathon Infinity. It is too bad they didn't keep the same setup. As you can see, like they put the title to the side, because the CD comes out of here on all 3 cases. I'll show you the CDs a little bit more once I put the camera on the tripod. Some of you are wondering why it's called Marathon Infinity instead of like, Marathon 3, okay, like something simple like that. When you play this game and you try to understand the story, which is very hard to do, you'll see exactly why it's called that. And yes, here's the official strategy guide for the first Marathon. Hopefully that name's coming out okay. So we'll take a look at a small portion of that book. There is just one thing I want to show you about it. And these are the books that I believe came with each game, which would make sense. You can see it follows the same color scheme. Blue for 1, yellow for 2, and gray for Infinity. Gray or silver, I don't know what the correct color term is, but, whatever. I do like the things behind the icons. Like, the first one is just basic, which is fine. And then 2 and Infinity have different designs. Oh yeah, I'll answer this question right now. If you guys wonder which marathon of mine is my favorite, 2 definitely. 2 I think has great story behind it. A lot of the level designs and the textures are good. So 2 out of all the 3, 2 is my favorite, definitely. And now this is something that actually came with the trilogy box set. Forgive me, I don't quite know exactly how the trilogy box came to be or how you had to get it, but that was basically when all 3 marathons existed by the time, as you can see. So you would get basically this book with it, okay, and you would get this CD that comes with it as well. This CD I could probably show you too. Basically what this have is, and for some reason I have 2 of these in this case, but whatever. You would get a definitive map collection, which would have a number of maps and scenarios for most of the 3 games, and like physics models, things like that. And then basically, and you can see there's the same CD inside there, which would normally be. And this is the trilogy itself. This is basically, it has all 3 marathons, so you can use this CD to install all 3 marathons if you wanted to. So obviously this came after the 3 individual CDs, as you know. And yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't have the box itself, but my brother does have the trilogy box itself too. And as a matter of fact, he's getting some marathon stuff, I believe, pretty soon, if I read his messages correctly. So when that happens, maybe I'll make a separate video on what he has, and maybe if all goes well, I can show you the box itself that these came in. So that'd be pretty cool. Oh, and I should also say, I believe the map editor, Forge, and I believe the physics, shapes, and sounds editor came with the CD, Anvil. Those obviously don't work these days because they're PowerPC applications and Macs or Intel, and they're going to have that M1 chips soon, I think. So, but you have to get like an emulator that runs OS 9 and things like that. But they have new applications that people have made for newer processors and things like that. So, I have to find a way to get these CDs on here neatly. But I guess I'll just put it back to the way I found it. Makes the most sense, right? There we go. Okay. And this is basically all the stuff that he got me. I just thought the fact that he gave me all this stuff was amazing. Like, never thought I'd ever have anything like this, And I always loved reading the books. My brother just has this book and the CD. I always loved reading those, but, I couldn't read them all the time. But now that I have my own, hey, I can check it out anytime I want, which is pretty awesome. All right, so what I'll do now is let me put the camera on the tripod, and I'll show you a few more of these things in further detail. Okay, so now we'll just take a look at just a few of the items, not all of them, and just a little further detail in case maybe you wanted to see any of them up close, see something, again, a little bit more in detail. So I guess to start, what I'll do is, let's start with one of the floppy disks over here. They're all the same, just, disk 1 through 4. Can you read that? There we go. Hopefully will it focus? Kind of. Yeah, there you go. You can see what it says there. All right, let's go ahead and go for one of the CDs now. All right. So again, this is the first marathon, the CD. Again, I don't quite know if this is the 1.2 update, but here you can see some stuff on the back there. I do apologize for the window glare. Hey, check this out here. Let's see. Requires that was the Motorola processor or the Power PC, 5 megabytes of RAM, and the colors, everything. Networking requires System 7. And 1995, and made in USA. Imagine that, huh? And yeah, you can get some ideas of what the game was like. Again, I do apologize for that window glare. I always found this image here to be pretty funny because, as you can see, the player's using a flamethrower on, that's what would be the hunter, and hunters are immune to the flamethrower, so I don't quite know what that was for. Maybe just to give it some show or something, I guess. And there's accelerated for Power Macintosh, QuickTime. Oh yeah, I should say, QuickTime was needed in order to play background music because Marathon 1 had background music, and 2 and Infinity replaced that with ambient sounds. The background music thing was pretty interesting. The original QuickTime to use for that was QuickTime 2.0, but there was a problem with that QuickTime. Basically, what would happen is there was some kind of percussion glitch. What would happen is on the very first track that would play perfectly fine. But then any track after that one wouldn't play correctly, meaning the percussion just wouldn't play at all, or most of the percussion instrumentals, if you understand that correctly, didn't play. So, meaning like maybe just the drum beat would, but anything else wouldn't. All right, and like I said, sometimes it wouldn't play at all. So, and basically the only way to reset that was to shut the computer down and turn it back on, and then wash, rinse, repeat. The same problem happened. Then at some point, I believe I was pretty sure it was QuickTime 2.5 that came out, and basically QuickTime 2.5 fixed that. It got rid of the glitch, but it also made the percussion in general just like stronger in the tracks. Like anything else in the track wasn't really changed, but the percussion and the percussion instrumentals were made a lot stronger. My personal favorite is QuickTime 2.5. Some people like the original 2.0 better, but I think 2.5 is a lot better. Then, when System 8 or 9 came out, I believe this was QuickTime 3.0, the tracks became completely horrible, because basically what had happened was, just don't mind me rambling here for a minute, the instruments were changed completely, and they all just sounded terrible. One instrument in particular, which I really liked from the 2.0 and 2.5 versions, somehow it became two different instruments in 3.0 and later. Basically, it would either be just a bunch of dings, which is really annoying, or on the other hand, the continuous sounding version of it would sound, basically when it hit a really high note, it sounds like Alvin and the Chipmunks trying to sing. And I am not exaggerating when I say that. If you want an example of that, go to the video description. You'll hear just exactly what I'm talking about with the newer style instruments on one track. So yeah, that was pretty bad for the time. Okay, but enough about that. I also want to show you. Look at the blue on this CD. It does look like it's coming out pretty accurately on the camera, so that's good. But just that blue design on the CD, that's really nice. I really like how they designed that for the first marathon. Pretty sweet. You can read that too if you'd like. Okay. All right, let's go ahead with Marathon 2. Like I had said, Marathon 2 was my favorite of the three original games. And you can see some screenshots on the back of the gameplay. Now, they are a little bit misleading because there isn't that much carnage in these area levels. They just put them on there, I guess, to make it look more intimidating. But the Marathon 2 textures are my absolute favorite. Especially, look at that daytime sky. You see that? I always loved that. That is just such a beautiful design, I think. Like that yellow sky and everything. Really, really nice. 2 definitely is like my most favorite out of them all, like I've already said. Mac OS, again, Power Macintosh, Network Play. And it's also peer-to-peer, so like, you'd have to, but at least, I'm pretty sure before LF1, you would have to basically connect computers directly together in your house and play that way. And we used to do that. We used to put the wires in the hallway, and then my mom would occasionally trip on the wires and yell at us for having her trip all the time, so we can laugh about it now, which is nice. She laughs about it too. And yeah, just absolute awesome game. And can you read that? Sorry. Here, you can pause here if you'd like. And hopefully you can read that. Oh, let me get a. There we go. Okay, so and here's the CD. Not quite as well designed, I think, as the Marathon 1 CD, but still very nice design. Still, I think I do like that. That came out pretty good. All right, and then let me get this back in here. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, just wasting time here, I guess. There we go. Okay, and then here's Infinity. Again, this is the third one. And you can look on the back here and see more stuff. Now, there was one problem I did have with Infinity. Well, a couple of problems. Infinity's textures in general, I did not like at all. Okay, compared to Marathon 2, I thought they were very bland, very repetitive. They did not appeal to me nearly as much as Marathon 2 did. And the other thing is, these images, I guess, were made, well, aside from these two, because this set didn't exist in Marathon 2, these two images here must have been made before the Infinity textures were done, because they're the Marathon 2 style. So it's kind of misleading in that way. I wish they would have, I believe, how do you say their company name? I think it's Double Aught or something. Am I saying that correctly? You can see the spelling for it below on the description. They were involved with Infinity, and basically the way the textures came out for the third game, just I did not like them at all. Aside from these two. So what I did was, back in 2001, I remember that shape texture editor I told you about? I basically used it to switch a lot of the textures from Marathon Infinity to Marathon 2 and played the game that way, and I'm not going to lie, I think it looks a lot better. And in general, I still play with Marathon 2 textures. Some people don't like that, but what can I tell you? It's what I like the most. And if you want, you can read this here. There we go. Again, it really isn't a bad game, but it does not appeal to me as much as Marathon 2 does. So I guess there is that, But still definitely worth playing, I would say. Here, I'll show you the CD. More basic than 2 and Infinity, but kind of cool, like if you spin it, and kind of interesting. If you want to read that too. Same thing, probably the same in Marathon 2 CD as well. All right. And then I guess one last thing I can do here is I don't want to show you, again, I don't want to show you too much of that strategy guide because I don't think I can. But there is one portion of it I do want to show you. Let me go ahead and just get that over here. Okay, so on this strategy guide here, there is just one small part I want to show you, and maybe this back too, I guess. And then something on the Marathon 1 book, and then we'll call this a video. So here's the thing I wanted to point out. They mentioned about the update, things like that. I mentioned about the 1.2 version, and I mean, look at that: America Online, eWorld, CompuServe. Man, really goes back, huh? And here's the system requirements I told you about. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention earlier about the background music. I believe once Aleph 1 came out and they managed to get M1A1, the QuickTime 2.5 tracks were brought back, which I thought was absolutely awesome. That many, or those couple to a few years later. Then I believe when Aleph 1, I believe it was 1.0 came out, they reverted them back to 2.0, which I thought was kind of a bummer. But at least the percussion glitch was gone by that point. And I still have the sound files for 2.5, and there's also YouTube videos of them, so it's not that bad. And just here's a shot of the how much the book cost back then, 1995. The term vidmaster and Primas. There you go. Okay, and then one more thing I'll show you is, let me just show you a couple of computer details from the first Marathon book. Okay, and on the Marathon 1 book here, I just want to show you basically an example of what kind of computer types there were back then, and just show you exactly how the speeds were and everything like that. I think this should be legible. If you want, you can just, how far back should I go? I'm just going to slowly scroll through here, okay? And if you want, you can pause the video at any time and just read this section here, okay? Okay, so basically, you can see basically the PowerPC Macs were the newest or fastest ones at the time, System 7.5, and just how it went down the chain, I guess you could say. So, what's funny is it says don't run background tasks. That applies even today with Aleph 1 when you're playing net games, especially because it can cause a lot of lag and make things not fun. So you can just see exactly what kind of machines you were dealing with back then. Pretty interesting, huh? So there's some pretty cool details that maybe you'd like to see. And everyone, there's all the Marathon stuff that I have. So definitely very belated, but to KineticTurtle, thank you again for all this stuff. It's been so fantastic to have all this. And in fact, when I opened up the envelope again recently, a few days before today, I'd forgotten just how much stuff there was in there. You could tell it's been a while. But really thankful that you were willing to give all this and that you gave it to me. And for the now 7 years that I've had it, hopefully you can see that I've been taking very good care of it. I'm sure some people like to know things like that. And really cool to have this stuff, and hopefully you guys liked seeing some material back from the 90s. Great decade that was. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.